there was a lot going on, but because there was so much going on, it was literally a blur. So, I was starting these brands. So I got married, bought my first place. My wife was running a very successful personal training business. She did really well there, and I was busy working in consulting, which could be anywhere from 50 hours a week to 80 or 100 hours a week. I was, building the brands and building products and doing all that stuff on the side. I was training 2 hours a day. So, my whole 20s were a complete blur. And I really feel that the 20s are a time when, and we try to tell this to our employees now, because we have a lot of 20-year-olds in the retail side, and the 20s is your time to really set the foundation for later on. And so that is the time to be working those 100-hour weeks and pushing yourself beyond, because you're young, you can do it, right? Like, you don't have the responsibilities of the kids and, everything else that comes with it, right? So, and I did that, right? So my days, waking up at, 6 o'clock in the morning, there were sometimes people ask me, like, how do you get big arms, right? Like, that's kind of what they ask me, like, how'd you get your arms so big? And one of the things I used to do is, at least on arm day, I would do triceps in the morning before work and biceps after work, just because I could, right? Like, didn't have kids, and, so I did that early on, but I didn't do 2-a-days usually. But I'd wake up at 6 o'clock in the morning. I'd be in at work at 7:30. I'd commute downtown DC. I worked right by the White House. I'd work a 10-hour day. I'd work till 5:30. I had a microwave and a fridge in my office, even though we had kitchens and stuff. Like, I just literally would work. I'd turn around, grab a meal, throw it in the microwave. Basically chicken, rice, and mixed vegetables. I mean, that's what I ate, all day long. Ate a pre-workout meal around 4 o'clock. Left work at 5:30, was training at 6, trained till 8 o'clock at night. And then after at 8 o'clock at night, that's when, I worked on the brands and did all those other things until whatever needed to be done. And then I would do it all over again. And I didn't even it wasn't a thing. It wasn't, I loved what I was doing. And I enjoyed my work because, where I was at, because I loved the people. They were very smart people. I worked with a lot of PhDs, economists, and was doing a lot of stuff that I actually enjoyed some of it because of the people, but the actual content and the everyday, economics didn't excite me. I liked coding, I did all that stuff, and I liked working with people and the team aspect, but economics just didn't really excite me. And it's a lot of legal work as well. So, my days were full. I mean, they were full. I mean, now, I'll get in here, start training at 7:30 because our gym's right here at HQ. Get the kids off to school, help in the morning, but luckily my wife handles the details of that to make sure they get to school on time. I'm here training at 7:30. I train for 2 hours. My day then doesn't start here till 9:30, 10 o'clock. And, I'll work here from 10 to, 5 o'clock, and then I'll be home. My thing is I'm home for the kids, right?
Yeah, man.
So while they're up, because they're young, they go to bed at 7:30. So that's their time, right? They get dad then. And then after that, I'm working, right? So I'm constantly working, but I don't have to be in a set spot at a set time, because at the end of the day, I'm the boss. So I can do what I want, under some guidelines, because I got to make sure everyone else is doing what they need to do. But things are, quite a bit different. But it's nonstop. There is no day off. The weekends now, yes, I'm, with the fam, with the kids and stuff, and I try to compartmentalize, but my brain is always going. So, right, that's the difficult part. I tell people it's how to be successful outside of the work, and, having a good domestic life as well is you got to crush it inside the workplace and outside the workplace. So when you're with your family, be all in with your family. When you're at work, be all in with work. And I got to say, that is probably the hardest thing. So I'm not perfect at that, right? I'm always, there's always a heart attack going on at work, something happened, blah, blah, blah. There's all sorts of stuff going on. But I would say that's the biggest struggle you have as a business owner, entrepreneur, and family man, is that balance, right? Because you have your own children, and then you have your other baby, which is your business, right? And that's all, they're always competing on your time. So you got to have, a support system, you got to have a supportive spouse. and you know, just kind of know when enough is enough on the work side and put it, you know, put it to the side. So my days have changed quite a bit. And, you know, I wouldn't have it any other way. Like I said to my wife, after I left the job, I worked in economic litigation consulting for 12 years. And I don't know how people could raise a family in that environment. Like it was very demanding. There's a commute, there's in the office for 10 hours, just doing this. You have to take care of your own health and your own training and all that other stuff. Like actually running a family in that environment without flexibility is difficult. Nowadays, actually, COVID helped a lot of people because I think they work at home now and do a lot of different things. It's probably easier, but no, I'm in a pretty good position at the moment. You know, I'm very grateful.